Hey guys, Danny Bird from Value Marshall Blades. Hey, listen, I wanted to go over the fairbarin Sykes commando daggers or fighting knives. Uh, the correct terminology is the fairbarin Sykes fighting knife. And a lot of people are going to say, well, it's actually a dagger. Well, a dagger is a specific type of knife. William Fairbairn, the designer of the FS fighting knife, called it just that. He called it the FS fighting knife, not a dagger. But it is a dagger is a specific type of fighting knife, so you're good on either one of those. I'm going to cover the ones that I have at this particular point in time. Now you're going to see in that photo, or in the leading beginning of this video, you'll see the Gerber Mark II fighting knife. I put that in there because when you compare them, you'll see that it's very much like the FS fighting knife. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that the Gerber fighting knife was actually inspired by the FS fighting knife. So let's get right to it. So the first one, this is one I picked up at a gun show, and it is very reminiscent of the one I owned back in the 80s. And it is not an expensive, although it's got a very nice sheath, very good quality sheath. It is not an expensive knife. This one here cost me about 40 bucks, and that's not much higher than what they cost back in the 80s. I couldn't tell you what type of steel it is. I can't even tell you who it's made by. It doesn't have any markings on it whatsoever. It's got some weight, especially in the handle portion of it, but it is very, very good steel, sharpened up really nice, and it's just a generic, inexpensive replica of a fairbarin Sykes commando knife. Now, moving on to that, this is by AJ Sanity. I got this off of Amazon. It run about 50 bucks. I believe it is out at this moment. They don't have any available. The sheath, to be quite honest, is rather thin. It's got a good welt in the middle between the two halves, but the overall thickness of this leather is pretty thin. So most sheaths, most knives, even good quality knives, the makers will oftentimes skimp on the sheath. They're getting better about that, but you've really got to pay high dollar for a good knife and good sheath combination. So I think they could have done better on this one, but I'm not gonna get too worked up over it. This is like I said, this is the AJ Sanity. Y'all, pardon me, I'm having a little trouble this morning. As you can see, it's got a very good needle point blade. This is very sharp. I honed it up with the Wingard Wearables dick pick, as I did on all of these, and it's great. This is what you would call a first pattern, the first design of the first pattern. What I mean by that is, it has the ricasso right here, this unsharpened section. The guard is oversized, okay, and then it has the knurled handle, and that was the first of the first patterns. Now, they shortened the grip, on the second of the first pattern, the second design of the first pattern, they shortened this guard, made it more S-shaped, a little bit of an S curve, like a little bit of a curve to it. You're going to see that in a minute. And to me, it's a much better, the second design of the first pattern is better in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. This is, if you want a good oversized guard, this is great, but the reason why they shortened that guard, made it smaller, was because many of the soldiers were complaining about how it would get caught up in their clothing when they go to draw it. So the AJ Sanity off of Amazon, around 50 bucks. Really good knife, really great knife. The next one, I just got this one in, and both of these two right here come from RWM out of Pakistan. The sheath on this is not bad. Again, I think they could have done a better job. I wish they would. I wish this one would have come with the sheath I'm fixing to show you on the other RWM, but it's not bad. This one's all black, and as you can see, it's got, probably going to be, show it backwards probably, but anyhow, it says FS Fighting Knife on the knife. It's very good, very sharp. Now I'm going to bring this up. If you hold these ricassos next to each other, where the edges start, you'll notice a couple things probably. One, the blade on the AJ Sanity, which is this one, just a tad longer, just a tad. And then the handle on this one is just a tad longer. It's not much difference, but it is a little bit of a difference. My only complaint with this one, and these are from Pakistan, the RWMs. The only complaint I have with this knife is, for some reason, the fit is not quite as well as the next one you're fixing to see, because the guard is a little bit loose, and you can, I don't know if you can hear that rattle or not. It's a little bit of a rattle there. So I wish they'd have spent a little bit more time on this one. And like I said, I don't even know why it came with this particular sheath and the other one didn't, other than maybe the price. This one here ran right around $89. And that's not much cheaper than the next one I'm going to show you, which is really excellent quality. But again, this here would be the second design of the first pattern, and there is that shortened guard, a little bit of an S shape. Okay, and this is what William Fairbarin requested that to go to after they were complaining, soldiers were complaining about it getting hung up. Now we go down to the one I really do like the most. This is the original style sheath. Got a metal tip over the end of the sheath to protect the leather, the knife coming through it. It has these leather tabs here, which allow that to be sewn onto the clothing or onto your web gear. Of course, it has the belt loop, but this is just a high quality sheath. The originals had this snap, and then they later on started putting a piece of elastic over it, which in time wears out, as many of them did. And then we have the knife, FS Fighting Knife, and on the back it's got the Wilkerson and Sword logo. Wilkerson and Sword originally were the ones who made these for William Fairbarin and Eric Sykes, and then they were picked up by Sheffield and many other companies. This, of course, is a second design of the first pattern, and this one here, the fit and finish on this one is just ideal. I've held, now I have never held, let me take that back, I've never held a first or second pattern Fairbarin Sykes Commando dagger, an original. I've not held one of those. I have held on more than one occasion the third pattern, and I don't have a third pattern to show you, so I won't even really get into that. There's plenty of, you can look that up on YouTube and see what the difference is. But I have held an actual third pattern, and this really, and they all had about the same weight. The handle was a little bit different, but this really feels, and it feels great, guys. This was around $92. Now, I don't know if that small price from $89 to $92 is why the knives are different and the sheaths are different. I don't know. But if you're going to get one from RWM and Pakistan, two things you need to know. Number one, the quality is reflected in the price, even though it may not be a whole lot. I know the ones over $100 are supposed to be very good quality. This, to me, is in that price range. It must, this got to be. This is just very well fitted. It's a high quality knife. I love it. And you're going to take about a month and a half to get these in. Okay, so be patient. not one of my stronger qualities, but be patient. The knife is going to be the Gerber Mark II. These came out in Vietnam, the Vietnam era, and were made well up into the 90s. Gerber started making them again, I believe. They're not the same quality that they used to be, but none of the Gerber knives are. You can get them good. Don't get me. Not, Gerber still makes good knives. They're just not the same quality that they used to be. Okay, and not all, but many knife makers have gone through this. Hopefully, they'll get back to where they were at one point. But as you can see, you hold these two up. They're very similar. Okay. In thought. This is got more weight. It's a thicker blade throughout the knife. The guards are different. The handle is a little bit wider through here than this. But the overall feel, when you're holding this Gerber Mark II, it feels, you got that feel of the fairbarin sights commando dagger, and it's a very good secure grip. It really moves well in the hand. Okay, so these were, like I said, these came out around the Vietnam era. So that's the knives, guys. That's my fairbarin collection, I guess you could call it. One thing I will say, a lot of people will make comments about the knife, about the edge sharpness. It's a dagger. It's for thrusting. It doesn't have to have a sharp edge. And if you buy one from, I think it's Sheffield, you're going to get it. It's going to come to you dull. There's no edge on it. Got a good point, but it has no edge on it. And for an original company that made the fairbarin fighting knife, and the money that you pay for it, it should come sharp. You shouldn't have to put the edge on there. And Fairbairn clearly stated in his writings, as well as in the military training films, that the edge should be sharp. Okay. Yes, its primary function was that of thrusting. However, if you look at any of Fairbairn's training, the films that he was in where he showed how to use his knife, the majority of what he's doing is thrusting, is slashing, constantly keeping that knife moving. Okay, he knew that as long as this blade was moving, damage was being done, and it was only being done because it had a very sharp edge. Okay, a lot of times these are called harassing cuts. This is to get people off of you. You know, remember Fairbairn was involved in over 600 fights. That's a combination of both gunfights and knife fights, and when he was a Shanghai police officer. And I think the knife fights were somewhere in the neighborhood of just over 200. Okay, his first fight, he was literally left for dead. He was stabbed multiple times, I think 9 to 13 times, and beaten mercifully by one of the gangs in Shanghai. That's what started his quest for learning everything he could about martial arts, and he learned that a knife in close quarter combat had absolutely no equal. That's gonna piss off you gun guys. I'm a gun guy too, so I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, the pew pew. The advantage of it is a distance weapon. Okay, that's all. It's a distance weapon. A concealable pew pew. I'm not talking about a long one. Okay, a concealable one that you carry on your person. The takedown that it has, I don't care what caliber it is, the takedown it has is nowhere near reliable as one of these at contact range. Okay, and I could get more into specific to that, and now all the gun guys are gonna get upset and gonna get pissed off. Okay, that's fine. I don't care. I'm a gun guy, guys. Okay, so you gun guys carry one gun on you, most of you. Okay, you're gonna be honest. Be honest. Most of you carry one gun. Okay, I carry a minimum of two, generally three, but minimum of two. And then I carry, well, shoot, I carry at least minimum three knives. So, and that's not little pocket knives. It's usually one pocket knife in that group, and then depending on how many knives I'm carrying, I carry more knives than I do guns. So, I don't want to hear all the the things gun guys like to say. I've heard it for way too long. I can tell you right now from personal experience, I know what a knife will do. Okay, and from personal experience, well, having been there enough times to have seen the carnage and damages, not to mention my own personal research into the matter, guns are great. That's why I carry them. But they do not have the takedown power that one of these has at contact. Okay, contact distance, unless you get a perfect shot. Went off into a rabbit hole there. So guys, hey, look, any of these are great knives if you just want them for historical context, wall hanger, something like that. But if you're going to get something that you're going to train with, you're going to carry, I highly recommend the AJ Sanity or either one of the RWM from Pakistan. And then, of course, if you can get your hands on a older Gerber Mark II, well, these are ideal. So remember, the edge is supposed to be sharp. And if you look at any William Fairbairn's videos or films, not documentary, but training films, you will see him doing a lot of slashing. The knife is constantly moving, and then every now and then he'll throw in a thrust. Okay. Another thing, the FS fighting knife is only meant to be held like this. Okay, in a forward grip. Not true. And if you look at the training films, you can go on my channel, go to the playlist, and look at World War II combatives, and I think it's under that one. You'll see William Fairbairn talking about his knife and how to use it. The reverse grip, he shows using the reverse grip. Do you really want to come in and try to get me while I'm doing all this? I don't think so. No more than you do when I'm doing this. Okay? So make sure the edges are sharp. If it doesn't come sharp, put a decent edge on both sides of this blade. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Danny, well, I'll do something. I'm doing another video on some testing with these, okay? Guys, Danny Bird, Bayou Marshall Blades. Stay safe and stay sharp, guys. Thanks.